Hi friends, so today we're doing an intro video. Switch it! I've been vlogging for a few weeks or months, I guess, with a few breaks, but I haven't actually done an intro video. So if you just ran into the channel, this is the video to watch. If you haven't and you're coming from Instagram and you know me, maybe this is going to give a better idea of who I am. And if you know me very well, then this is just a recap and you better still watch it, because if you know me very well, you're my friends and you gotta support this. Okay, so I've got like it's not a ring light, it's like a square light that goes on top of my camera and it's so bright. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it reflected on my screen. It's so bright, it's like in my eyes. So I need to like focus on like looking at the camera and not looking at that, because I'm gonna go blind. I made like electrolyte water, hot electrolyte water while filming. So I'm gonna do a few sections. So I did ask some questions on Instagram and I got quite a few responses that I've like screenshotted on my phone, but I have like notes and like sections in my agenda, which is from a few weeks ago because I was meant to film this like 3 weeks ago, but I have been lazy. I have just come home from the gym, and by just I mean like a few hours ago. I just had dinner and stuff, so I'm still in my gym kit, but I do plan on taking a shower after this. Also my hair is just everywhere because I was very sweaty. Anyway, so I can't speak English apparently. I'm Kate, I'm 29 years old. I'm going to 30 slowly, very steadily, almost there. My birthday's in January, so almost 30. I am originally from Cyprus. I moved to London a bit over 10 years ago. I came for university back in 2014. Did my university for 4 years and then got a job straight out of uni and then kind of stuck around. I've been in London my whole kind of 10 years. Like I did my university in London and have been working in London for the last 6 years and a bit. So yeah, London is home. Grew up in Cyprus though. Went to British school there and then moved here at 19. At university I studied chemistry, which a lot of people apparently don't know. But I did chemistry and specialized in organic chemistry in my 4th year. I did my master's at Imperial, undergrad and master's at Imperial. I did my master's in organic synthesis, so it was a lab-based master's. And after that, I did an internship in a consulting firm the summer after my last year of uni. Really like the job. It's life sciences consulting, so I specialize in pricing and strategy of pharmaceutical products, and I really like the job. I like the team, I like the company, so kind of stuck around. I've been in the exact same company for the past 6 years. So I started my internship in July 2018 and I've been there since, basically never left. The biggest break I've taken is I've done a 6-month sabbatical this past summer. Actually only got back to work 26 days ago, which feels like 6 months. But yeah, so I do work in consulting. If you know anything about consulting in London, it is long hours. It's quite an intense job. So even though I absolutely love what I'm doing and I find it super interesting, it is quite an intense job in terms of we have a lot of meetings during the day. There is a lot of thought that goes into the work we do, and then like, even though I hate to say it, we do work like a normal day would be 10 to 11 hours, which is quite a lot. 3 years ago I did go part-time, or part-time in quotation marks, with work. So I went to 80%, so I only work Monday until Thursday for the last 2.5 to 3 years. And that was mainly to kind of spend a bit more time training and spend a bit more time at the gym. I was coaching at different times at different gyms. So I coached at what used to be called P10, now it's called Ford. So I used to coach there as a weightlifting coach. I coached at Basis Gym on Fridays as both a CrossFit and weightlifting coach. But yeah, the past kind of 8 months or so, I haven't been coaching anywhere. I'm just using Fridays as kind of a big training session. And also kind of it's massive in terms of recovery, having Fridays off work. I guess one question that kind of relates to the job that I do and obviously the training that I do, and I will go a bit into more how I structure my training, is kind of staying consistent. There was a question on how do you stay consistent with training. Honestly, I don't feel like I have a choice but to be consistent with training. Personally, I feel like if I skip a session, I need to have a very, very good reason of why I skipped that session. Either I had a workshop or a meeting that came unexpectedly in the calendar that finished a lot later than I expected it to, and I feel absolutely exhausted to the point that it's dangerous for me to actually train, to skip training. Or if I'm traveling with work, I may rearrange my training days, I may merge a few sessions together, or I may just skip a day altogether if there is no way of actually kind of managing the schedule. But I rarely skip sessions, to the point that I'd rather go and just move a bit, do a lighter work, do kind of a few squats, a few powers, just kind of move my body rather than just skip it all together. Honestly, I feel like there's only a couple of times where I've skipped a session, either because I was so tired, I really felt like I've been putting myself in danger. If I went to the gym, I would like miss the bar on my head, or like I have in the past had the bar bounce onto my shins, which hurt so much just because I was so tired and I couldn't concentrate to lift. But honestly, that's the exception. Like, training has become such a big part of my life and is so ingrained into my routine. My routine actually kind of evolves around training. So currently what my training routine looks like, to kind of give you an idea of what life looks like. So I work Monday until Thursday. I work from home on Monday and Thursday. So I'm in the office Tuesday, Wednesday. And on weekdays, I only have a Tuesday and Wednesday session. So the days that I go in the office, the gym is next to the office, so it's perfect. So I train 5 days a week. I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Currently, the way my program is structured is that Friday and Sunday I do double sessions. So the morning sessions, I have my main lifts and pulls, and I do have a lot of pulls, which, Benedict, shout out, this is all you. And then my second session is squats and then accessories. I do think it works really well in terms of you can really focus your energy on squats and accessories. I know so many people that just sandbag their accessories because they're tired after a session, and having kind of a second session where you can focus all your concentration and energy on squats and accessories is so beneficial. You can really kind of get a lot more out of those reps compared to if you did them back to back. So that's how I kind of structure my week. My weekends, like my whole schedule is surrounding weightlifting. So on Fridays, I go to my coach to kind of train in person for the first session. Then between my first and second session, I usually either go to a coffee shop or meet a friend. I try to go to a coffee shop to do some like work online. So I do coach online as well. I have a few clients that I coach through True Coach. I get their feedback and like through the app, so I need to kind of review it, give them feedback, and then do their programs. So I do that either on Friday or Sunday between those two sessions, or like if I have to edit videos, I do that during that slot as well. Then I go back to the gym, do my second session, come home, eat, etc. I usually kind of spend the weekend doing laundry and kind of meal prepping for the week, because otherwise, honestly, I would just starve to death because I don't have any more time to do it. I could in theory do it Monday or Thursday, kind of after work, but quite usually because of how much work I have and because I do want to get out of the office on Tuesday, Wednesday faster, on Mondays and Thursdays I have to work a bit later, which is not ideal. I hate doing that because I would prefer to like go for a walk or do some mobility and just move a bit. But yeah, currently that's how kind of the training week looks like. I am currently on a high volume, low percentage block. Doesn't mean I listen to the percentages. I try to do my absolute best to do that. But yeah, like I'm on a very high volume block right now. So everything absolutely hurts and I'm always tired. But we're working through it. We're getting there. So I really enjoy like working hard, and not necessarily just from the concept of hard working, but I do so many things. And a lot of people I speak to are like, oh, how can you focus on everything if you're doing so much? So obviously I mentioned that I coach online, but I also run like a company online. So I'm like, I have a company called Black Cat Barbell, and it's a gear company. So we do knee sleeves, grips, chalk, tape, and I kind of manage that on my own. I mostly sell stuff from my house, kind of obviously through online channels. So I do the marketing, the photos, everything on my own. And then obviously I do the coaching, and I have my job, and I have training. So I think like one of the things is that I do keep fairly busy, not necessarily on purpose. Like, I just enjoy it. I actually enjoy working my ass off and just keeping busy and doing things. I also do enjoy rotting on the couch, right, and watching TV. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's just all about finding balance. It's just, for me, I function a lot better when I am keeping really busy. So my sporting career started quite late in life. So as a kid, I actually didn't do many sports. I hated PE at school and games, like afternoon games at school. My worst absolute nightmare. Like, I absolutely hated everything that had to do with like sports, running, team activities. Oh my god, like you could not convince me to do any sport. I did really enjoy dancing when I was growing up, but I did it more from the artistic perspective rather than the sporting perspective. I was a fairly chubby kid. I must admit, there is photo evidence somewhere, which if I get my hands on, I will delete. But yeah, I was quite a chubby kid growing up. I did dance, and I did really enjoy swimming. So it wasn't like I was completely not active, but I definitely did not have a sporting background growing up. At university, during my last 2 years of university, I started going to the gym, but I was more kind of into walking, doing a bit of running on a treadmill, doing some Smith squats or some deadlifts, some benching, mostly to kind of slim down. I was very much into the I need to be skinny, I need to lose weight, always kind of track what I'm eating, keep my body fat as low as possible kind of person, which I feel like a lot of people fall into that kind of pressure and stereotype, especially if you're coming from a Mediterranean country. But after university is actually when I started taking sports seriously. So during my first year at the company that I'm working now, they kind of had this annual party that we do every year. And one of the sports that you could engage in was football. The other one was CrossFit. And that's kind of how I got introduced into CrossFit. So December of 2018, I went to Germany with work and I got introduced to CrossFit. I was like, this is so cool. I really loved it from the first moment that I stepped into a CrossFit gym. I was like, people could do pull-ups, they could do so much stuff. I was still going at the gym at the time, and the summer before I started working, I actually started taking my gymming really seriously. I started doing my kind of personal training qualifications and that kind of stuff because I really enjoyed squatting, getting stronger, seeing muscle definition, that kind of stuff. But I never like engaged in kind of a team sport activity or classes. I would just go and grind away at the gym. But yeah, in 2018, I kind of came across the sport of CrossFit. 2019, I dove headfirst into CrossFit, joined classes, would go 6 days a week, absolutely loved it. So my sporting career basically started when I was around 23. I did a couple of years of CrossFit. Obviously, we did have COVID in the mix, which was not ideal. So obviously lockdown came and I started doing CrossFit on my own. Like, I would run a lot more, I would lift in the garden, that kind of stuff. I did the kind of whole of lockdowns training either in the UK or in Cyprus, because I got stuck in Cyprus also for one of the lockdowns, I think number 2 or number 3, I don't even know, I lost count. But yeah, like after one of the lockdowns around 2021, I kind of decided to sign up to a weightlifting comp because I was like, oh, CrossFit is fun, but I kind of hate cardio. I love the weightlifting side of CrossFit. Why not just try to do weightlifting? Also, I feel like starting sports so late in life means that you can only get as good on one thing. Like, CrossFit is so diverse, and while that's one of the things I absolutely enjoyed about CrossFit. I find it really hard to gain every single skill in the same speed that you could kind of improve in weightlifting. Don't get me wrong, improving in weightlifting is fucking slow as fuck. But at the same time, you can definitely kind of master the lifts if you focus on them, whereas you cannot master everything in CrossFit at the same rate, even if you focus on them, just because there's so many things to do. So yeah, in 2021, I switched to weightlifting. I joined London Strength, which is also the club that I compete with and kind of the club I train at most of the days, because it's a house within my local gym. I train there most days of the week. Since changed a couple of coaches since I started weightlifting. But yeah, all in all, since 2021, basically my sport is weightlifting. I compete in that sport. I absolutely love it. It's a massive part of my life, if you haven't noticed. And yeah, that's kind of the main thing. The main thing that I do is my main hobby. I don't know if you would consider it as a hobby, considering how many hours I spend actually doing it. It feels like a full-time job. Yeah, like a few of the questions I got is, how did I get into weightlifting? Honestly, CrossFit is what got me into weightlifting, but I would say what's more important is why I stuck with weightlifting. Like beyond the actual sport and me actually enjoying snatching, clean and jerking, competing, all that, I would say the weightlifting culture in London in particular is amazing. Like I've made so many friends within weightlifting, both from my gym, from other gyms, through social media, that it just created this massive community that I absolutely love. I don't think I could even imagine my life without my friends from weightlifting. And I think even if I couldn't compete, knock on wood, for whatever reason, maybe an injury or life takes over, I would still just train and just hang out with my friends at the gym, spend time with them. I just love the grind. I love the comps, but I also absolutely adore the community. So another question I got is something you wish you knew or you were told when you started weightlifting. I would say the main thing, and I wish I could still take my own advice, is like, one is trust the process. It feels at the beginning like everything's quite overwhelming. You see everyone around you lifting so much more weight than you. Like everyone's doing something different. Maybe they have a different program, they're doing more complex work, they're not focusing as much on the technical work as you would do at the beginning. But you just gotta trust that if you just stick with it and you do the basics, you nail the basics, and you just stick with the kind of sport and like stay with the sport and keep training, you will get better and you will reach that point a lot faster than you think. I do think weightlifting is a sport that rewards those that stick with it. Quite often people don't see results or get stuck on a number for ages and they get so frustrated that they just quit and move on and pick a different sport. And I'm like, no, like with weightlifting, like it's a sport that requires both a high technical proficiency but also strength. Neither of those are easy things to get. Like it's not something you're gonna get super quickly. Like weightlifting is not the most complex sport in the world. It's quite simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. So I would say stick with it, enjoy the process, learn to appreciate the process more than what's the number on the bar. It's gonna take time, like it will. It's the reality of things. Don't forget to have fun just because something is taking time. Like don't hold yourself back by not competing, by not engaging in events, by kind of not putting your everything in every single session because you're not hitting the number you wanted to hit on that day or the number that someone next to you is hitting. Honestly, just trust this process and just stick with the sport. One other thing that I guess people have been asking is around nutrition and cutting for competitions. I think it's like no surprise that like obviously weightlifting is a weight-based sport. I do cut a lot for competitions with, I think people in my circle know that. It's not that I cut a lot of weight, it's just that I kind of always cut for competitions. So whether it's like a kilo or a few kilos, I kind of like have to always lose a bit of weight. Like now we're like 2 months out of comp and I weigh like 66 kilos. So I am 2 kilos over the weight class. I compete as a 64 weightlifter. So I am 2 kilos over the weight class, but at the same time, I do have a lot of salt in my food. I do eat a lot of fiber. It's not like I'm gonna need to lose 2 kilos of body fat. It's mostly I need to kind of watch a bit more what I eat around carbs and not eat chocolate every day and stuff like that. But in terms of general nutrition, I do try to be fairly careful with what I eat on a day-to-day. I do definitely indulge in kind of a sweet treat on the daily. I'm not gonna say, oh no, I only have a sweet treat once a week, because that's gonna be a complete lie. So I try to meal prep like 2 meals a day plus breakfast. So I have the same thing for breakfast almost every day. I do occasionally change it if I'm training like in like a late morning. So today we went to the gym. I left the house at 12:30, so I had breakfast at 11, which was more like a brunch rather than just breakfast. But then I have the same thing for lunch every day and dinner most days. Today it's the weekend, so I changed my dinner up. I had steak instead of having my pasta with beef. I had beef steak with potatoes and a salad. But I try to kind of keep it as whole as possible. I home cook my meals. In the past I was having some subscription services, but I find it cheaper to just meal prep at home. I have an air fryer, so it's quite fast to kind of cook veg, to just throw in a pasta dish or just kind of have some rice with chicken. But yeah, I kind of track what I eat, but not strictly when I'm not close to a comp. But when I'm close to a comp, I kind of really track what I'm eating. What was it like actually training in Cyprus as a full-time athlete for 6 months? So this is an interesting one because it has two parts, right? One is kind of training full-time and the other one is training full-time in Cyprus. I would say I did not enjoy it as much as I hoped I would have, but I don't think the training full-time was the issue. I think it was mostly the fact that I was training away from the people that make weightlifting what it is for me. I do love the sport, and obviously having the privilege to be able to train full-time for 6 months was amazing, but at the same time my coach wasn't there. Having a coach that sees you and fixes things is so important, and not getting to see that person for like 4 months, it is wild. Like it definitely doesn't give you kind of the feedback in the same way that if you had that person in person. Also, like not having the community to live with and not having my friends near is also not kind of what I hoped it would have been. In an ideal world, I would have done my sabbatical here, but London is so expensive that it just made sense to rent out my flat. And my cat just walked in to rent out my flat and just do my sabbatical in Cyprus. I did enjoy spending summer in Cyprus. I have not done that since like first year of uni. So it was really fun to kind of be able to go to the beach whenever I wanted to, see family, spend time with friends from home. That was definitely something that I really appreciated, and I was so lucky to have had that time. Like, I don't think when I'll be able to actually have that again. So it is truly a privilege to have been able to do that. So a few other questions I got are do I have cats or do I have pets? I do have cats. I have 2 cats. I have one in Cyprus, which is currently with my mom. Well, my Cyprus cat, I argue it's my cat, but it's actually our family cat, and he is almost 11 and his name is Ratty. He lives with my mom in Cyprus. He's a black cat. He's a stray. I have no idea what kind of breed he is. And I also have a black cat here. You can probably hear his bell. His name is Uzo. He did do a few cameos in videos. He wanted to say hi. He's gonna drop the camera. Hi. Okay. His name is Uzo, and he's also a black cat. He is double the size of Ratty though, and he's not even 3 yet. So yeah, I'm definitely a cat person. It kind of matches not necessarily just my personality, but also my schedule a lot more. Like with dogs, you cannot be out of the house as much as I am. I'm not saying that you should abandon your cats either, but my cat like usually sleeps during the day anyway, so we only hang out in the evening. So yeah, that's pretty much everything about me. I'm trying to see if there's any questions I didn't really cover, but I guess the only few things is, when's your next comp? So my next comp is actually on the 21st of December. I'm actually going to Cyprus on the 23rd of December. So 2 days before that, I'm doing MEMS weightlifting comp. We'll see how that's gonna go, because the kind of volume I'm on now does not feel like I'm gonna be fresh for a comp, but it's in 2 months time, so we got plenty of time to do that. Yeah, let me know in case there are any questions. I can obviously address them either through Instagram stories, or can make another Q&A at a later stage. But yeah, good fun chatting, and see you guys soon.